Today, it's time we find out, can you beat Fallout 4 with only the Shishkebab? Now, for this character, I didn't really know what to do. I decided just to give her red hair and eventually name her Fire because, well, fire is good. I like fire. And you know the Shishkebab has fire. It's not really much to it, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah. Also, I always go female in Fallout 4 because the Black Widow perk is far better than the male perk, where you get good damage against females, because most of the game's enemies are male, so it's a much better investment no matter what build you do to be a female than a male. Remember that, it's better investment if you want to do more damage, because there's more males than females, so you want that Black Widow perk. Anyway, I also decided to give her some muscles because, you know, I like my muscle mommies, ha ha ha, if you know what I mean. Muscle, 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 tussle, tussle, tussle. Also wanted to give her short hair to, you know, to make her look like a fighter. You know, I want to look at her and be like, oh my god, I can't deal with her. She's too strong. I'm going to run away, which I couldn't even fight a squirrel, so that would be against any woman or man. But anyway, after I finished her up, I then watched the news and learned that the world was ending and that everyone I know and love is going to die. You know, just basic news stuff. Then the bombs dropped, and I watched everything be torched and burned and irradiated and just destroyed right in front of me, which, yay, it's very, very fun. And then, but there are some bright news, like I didn't have to take care of my baby. Some nice people took him out to babysit him. Just kidding, they actually murdered my husband and kidnapped him. And now there was rad roaches everywhere, and I couldn't really fight them, so I had to trap them in the door, which this stupid door technique, which I hate, but you know. I guarantee it wasn't on purpose, but I do absolutely love the fact that you can close these rad roaches behind doors. Even though it's annoying as heck, it makes these challenge videos actually feel possible. So, you know, so I can actually fight people with every challenge item. So, yeah. After that, it was time for me to leave the vault. Heck yeah. Gonna leave the vault. But before I could, there was a little roach that wouldn't even chase me. I had to get it to chase me so I could lock it in a room. You know how it is when giant roaches come for you and you lock them in rooms, you know, it's always annoying. And then I accidentally locked myself in a room because, you know, just luck, I guess. Yay. And then that one got past the door. I mean, I could have just cut this, but no, you're going to see the pain that I went through. Just having these roaches gnaw at me, trying to lock them up. It's just so annoying. Anyway, after that, I was able to leave. These are my stats. That's my name. I picked out everything well, so now it was time for me to gain some XP real quick so I can level up. Now, for the Shishkebab, you have to kill a raider boss to get it, sadly. So sadly, I could not do this challenge because it's impossible to kill anyone with it until you could do that. But that's what I thought, but luckily I found it in Sanctuary. Surprisingly, if you build a bunch of fences, it just randomly spawns. Totally spawns on its own. It's crazy. Luckily, I found this Shishkebab in Sanctuary. Then, I went out to save Preston Garvey to test it out, and it did pretty well. Now, considering that this weapon is between early to mid-game, and I'm using on characters from a tutorial, of course it's going to do quite well. Later on, this weapon actually does start to suck until you upgrade it, which you have to be a high level to upgrade, so that's very, very fun. But anyway, for now, though, this weapon is very good. I love how it's just a blowtorch duct taped to a sword. That's kind of cool. I love that. But anyway, then I went off to fight some raiders, and the raiders ain't got nothing on me because I'm the Raider Smasher 9000. Every time they call Raider, they call me to smash it. Just, yeah. Like I said, though, this was pretty easy. I did take quite a bit of damage because I didn't really have the best armor. But, of course, that wasn't really the Shishkebab's fault. And I could deal with it since I literally did a video about fighting with no armor whatsoever, which got barely any views. So yeah, check that out. Can you beat Fallout 4 as a nudist? Or don't. I'm not your dad. I can't tell you what to do. Anyway, after clearing out some raiders, this one actually, I don't know how you could block a flaming sword with a pool cube, but you can do it somehow. Anyway, I then jump out my power armor with a Shishkebab. I even decided to leave the power armor because I didn't want to do power armor for this challenge. Later, though, I did change that near the very end of the game. Spoiler alert, because, well, I just got tired of playing at that point. But yeah, I was going to run and slice and dice. Look at these raiders. Dicing, slicing, dicing, slicing. Oh, he's a man. His name is Butcher Pete. He's going to be happing and whapping and chopping that meat. Oh, he's hacking and whacking and smacking. Oh, Lord, he's hacking, whacking, and chopping that meat. Yep, just easy, you know. Nothing to worry about here. It's just the beginning part of the game. There's no challenges, nothing like that at all. Just a very nice and relaxing battle. Nothing to worry about whatsoever. Just me against a few raiders. I love Fallout 4. Oh my god, what the hell is that? Is that a Deathclaw? Oh my god, run for your lives. It's a Deathclaw. It's a freaking Deathclaw. Oh my god. But yeah, my strategy for killing a Deathclaw was to lure it in and then just chop at it from the windows, while Preston took shots at it. Luckily, the raiders did do some damage against the Deathclaws, and somehow I leveled up by watching the Deathclaw kill someone. I don't know how that leveled me up. Even playing the game, I was very confused, but you know, I didn't really complain. But yeah, as you could see, he wants to destroy me, so my best chance was to run out and stab it and then run back in, as this Deathclaw is pretty damn horrifying. I mean, imagine just walking around, and then suddenly a giant lizard just pops up out of nowhere. I mean, that's just the world of Fallout, you know? It's the world of Fallout. And now I'm trying to beat him with a sword duct taped to a blowtorch. In this moment, I was like, what am I doing with my life? Why am I fighting this giant lizard with this little sword with a blowtorch duct taped to it? Why am I doing that? But eventually, by doing this, he just died. I don't even know how he died. I didn't even stab him that much. But hey, I guess Preston actually did some good work for once. Anyway, after that, it was time for me to help out some Minutemen because, well, I wanted some XP. And building up the Minutemen to make them stronger would be a good choice. And you might be saying, are you doing the Minutemen quest because you want to get the Minutemen ending? To do the Minutemen ending, you have to fight a giant crab monster of death. And it's already hard to fight the crabs with melee weapons. So you want me to fight a giant version of that with a little sword, duct tape with a blowtorch? No. I mean, I love the Shishkebab, but no, spoiler alert, I'm not going to get the Minutemen ending. You might be asking what ending did I get, and well, you have to stay tuned and watch till the end to see. And spoiler, like I said before, it is not the Minutemen. Anyway, the first couple quests were quite hard, especially when I didn't have the best armor, but later on, I did manage to get good armor, so this challenge didn't become that hard. And like every single Fallout game has this problem where you need good armor at the beginning. So I found a Diamond City guard and he tripped and fell onto my sword, which was crazy. You saw he just tripped and fell. And after that, I was able to take his armor, which luckily for me made it way easier for me to do stuff. But sadly, that guard I feel bad for him. Oh well, nothing I could do, just wrong place at the wrong time. After getting the Diamond City armor, I then left and prepared to go back to Diamond City one day for some good old quest. Oh yeah, mama, baby mama, quest. Speaking of which, I went back to Diamond City and I went to look for Nick Valentine so he can find my son. As I asked her where my son was, she said, I didn't know what you were talking about. Go look for the robot man. I said, okay. Now it was time for me to fight, well, the gangsters. And well, fighting gangsters is actually pretty easy. You'd think it would be a lot harder since they have some machine guns and I have a sword duct taped to a blowtorch. But I had Diamond City armor, which for the very beginning of the game is pretty good. It doesn't get as good later on, but for now, it is all I really needed. As I began to slice and dice them down, one by one, making a path of my own, making a path to find Nick Valentine. As through each level, there was some people there, but I managed to cross them out pretty easily. And eventually I managed to find my way towards Nick. And as I got to Nick, he was like, wow, a woman saved me. That's cool. Damn woman stress in reverse. Ha ha, I am a big giant robot nerd. And I said, shut the hell up and help me find my son. And he said, okay, I'll do that. But yeah. Anyway, I kind of like Nick. He's one of my favorite companions. But yeah. After getting through all these triggermen, though, We then dealt with Skinny Malone, the skinny, a bit ironic. Get it? It's a fat guy who's called Skinny. Hee hee hee. Isn't that funny? That's such a funny gag. I love it. But anyway, my plan was to walk up behind him and just start slicing and dicing, hope that I can get him. But somehow his tuxedo was strong enough to survive a literal flaming sword. I don't know how that works, but hey, I don't question it. So my strategy was to pick off his men and then run towards him and get him down. And it worked. I got him down. Down. Skinny Malone went down. He went down. Skinny Malone went down. Then I took care of his girlfriend, and I took care of the rest of the triggermen who thought they could stand up against me and my beautiful flaming sword. Oh my. After that, I went to Nick, and I told him about the kidnappers, and he said, oh my god, it's Kellogg, we gotta go get him. So we went off to find Kellogg, but before we gotta do that, we gotta get the key from the mayor, which he gave it to me. Maybe because he's with the Institute and he wants me to find Kellogg, or maybe because he's a good mayor, I don't know. How many good mayors are with the Institute? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Anyway, then I was off to see Kellogg. I gotta follow the dog, follow dog, meet the annoying ass dog. On the way, I wasn't even gonna record this, but a Deathclaw managed to trap me into a building, so I decided to fight it. And what happened was pretty incredible. He did like his little grab move, right? So he grabbed me and threw me down, which was interesting. And then somehow he glitches his way into the building. So I gotta run out of there. And then he's stuck in the building. I just chop him down. I think I've killed 3 Deathclaws. 2 of them I recorded. Actually, no, So 2 of them I recorded. The 3rd one I didn't. I wasn't even gonna record this, but the fact I've never seen a Deathclaw go inside a building before and get stuck. So that's the only reason why I recorded that. Anyway, back onto the main quest, where I was hacking and dicing. I was hacking and dicing some sense. Oh, good old Butcher Pete gonna chop the sense meat. I don't know how meat, but you know, he's hacking and whacking and smacking. Oh Lord, he's hacking and whacking and smacking. Oh boy, he's just hacking and whacking and chopping that meat to good old Butcher Pete. And then it was time for me to chop up Kellogg, the man, the myth, the legend himself. This fight wasn't going to be easy. Kellogg had a lot of robots and a lot of experience. And I just had a shish kebab, but I knew how to do this. The plan was for me to rush him and then just start dashing and slicing. The sense did do quite a bit of damage, and before I tried to get Kellogg at the beginning, but he managed to get away, with his invisibility being quite annoying. But eventually I was able to find him even though he was invisible, and once I found him, I managed to kill him. And I lied, it was pretty easy. The shish kebab is actually pretty good right now. But later on in the game, it starts to not do as well. Trust me, it does get some problems. But yeah, for now, though, it was actually pretty good. And then after getting rid of Kellogg, I got to watch the Brotherhood fly in. Yeah! Let's go, Brotherhood! Let's go, Brotherhood! Let's go, Brotherhood! Anyway, after that, I decided to join the Brotherhood for some free power armor. Because even though at the beginning of the game, I thought I wasn't going to use power armor, later on, there are some quests that I want power armor for. So I changed my mind. The best way to get power armor is to join the Brotherhood. So I helped out Paladin Dan. And by helped, I mean I hid behind a railing and sliced a few of them as they ran at me. But I'm not going to lie, Dan's did most of the work. But at least I helped out. And most runs, I don't even do that. Anyway, after talking to Dan, he told me that it's time to go retrieve something at ArcJets. As I was following Paladin Dan, he acted weird. He followed orders to a T. He didn't really make many jokes. And well, he was just, I don't know, it was almost like he was robotic, the way he acted and the way he spoke. I couldn't put my finger on it. But, you know, that's crazy. Paladin Dan is definitely a human, and there's definitely nothing robot about him. I mean, just look at that very human-like face. Anyway, after helping Paladin Dan, I was able to join the Brotherhood, and I borrowed, quote-unquote, borrowed all the fusion cores for very special reasons. And then after that, I met with Darker Omari, and it was time for me to enter Kellogg's brain. And I was going to do it. I was going to enter this psychopath's brain to see the Institute's secret, how they travel, and most importantly, where my son is. And I discovered the horrible truth. The Institute
is using classical music to teleport. Ugh, my God. Their evil knows no bounds. They spread classical music everywhere. Do they have no shame? No shame? Oh my God, just... Anyway, after learning out the dark truth about the Institute and how they use classical music, it was time for me to find a hazmat suit. Now, I could just sell water for fusion cores with, a good neighbor, or I could just look up where all the fusion cores were and find them that way, or I could just save them up for a trip to Glow and See. I decided to find a hazmat suit anyway, because, well, why not? Wear power armor in the Glow and See. Psh, what are you, a noob? Nah. Real men wear hazmat suits where they easily take a lot of damage. Yeah, boy. After that, it was time for me to march into the Glow and See. In the Glow and See, why am I explaining it? You've all played Fallout. You've all watched Fallout. It's Virgil. It's the big mutant man that used to be a human. Virgil. That guy. I think technically all super mutants used to be human. They were experimental. Anyway, it doesn't matter. After talking to Virgil, it was time for me to destroy a Courser. I didn't really know how well this was going to do against a Courser, I'll be honest. A Courser is not too much stronger than Kellogg. Virgil even admits this. It's not that much of a stretch, so I should be fine. But unlike the Kellogg fight, where he had a bunch of tiny little weak robot men, they had a bunch of strong triggermen here. Starting to weigh down my weapon. Before, it only took 1 or 2 hits, but now it was taking 4, then 5, and then, well, other hits like that. For men, I did a lot of damage because of the Black Widow perk, but for women, I could definitely show that this weapon was starting to do less and less damage. So I was going to have to upgrade it, which is what I wanted to do. I wanted to upgrade the weapon right before the final mission to, to really have a bang. We're going to go off with a bang, 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 bang. Haven't heard that song in years. I wonder who sung that. Anyway, it was time for me to slice and dice through some triggermen. As you can see, it was quite easy. The normal triggermen were easy enough to deal with. However, the boss triggermen were difficult, and somehow they're able to block a flaming sword with your fist. I don't understand. How do you block fire with your fist? I don't understand that. Bethesda, please tell me. Anyway, after that, it was time for me to get to the Courser, and the Courser looked at me. And then I was like, stop looking at me, as I just went in on him, slicing, dicing, and hacking. I was slicing, dicing, and hacking. And this Courser sucks, because I just easily backed him into a corner and just sliced him, as he did nothing to defend himself. Until eventually he had the idea to, get this, punch me. After 8 swings in his face, he finally punched me, and then he didn't do anything else. This was probably one of the easiest Courser fights I've ever been a part of. Is what I was thinking until he took a stim pack. After that, it became really difficult because he had some moves. Watch that. He dodged me. Nah, I'm just kidding. It was easy. That was one of the easiest Courser fights I've ever been a part of. I was honestly shocked at how easy that was. Like, as soon as I hit him, he dropped his weapon instantaneously. That's why I love melee builds, because you can make them drop your weapon. Anyway, after that, I met with the Railroad, which is who I was going to side with for the run. It was time for me to free some synths, to free the people of the Commonwealth. After all, synths' rights are human rights. It's time for me to free us once and for all. Nah, I'm just kidding. Instead, I decided to murder them because why would I help a machine? That's just dumb. What are you, science fiction writers? What are you, Futurama fans? That's dumb.
Railroad put up some sort of a fight, I'm not gonna lie, with all their heavy armor and things like that. However, after a while of slicing and dicing, eventually they were no match for me. The real match was Gloria, which, fun fact, Gloria claims to be a synth, but when she dies, you can't find a synth component, which either means that she wasn't a synth or the game developers forgot to put it in. However, I doubt the game developers forgot to put it in, because Daddy Bethesda is always great storytelling. So, my theory is that Gloria thought she was a synth, and she wasn't, because, well, synths get their brain erased. So what happened was, she must have realized she was stronger than all the other girls and thought she was a robot, but she wasn't. She's just an ordinary girl, living an ordinary life in an ordinary world that's full with fire and death and destruction. Anyway, after taking down Gloria, I ran over and took down Deacon, the weak man himself, the Deaconator. Should I do a video where I can only use Deacon to fight? Let me know. I'm still looking for another companion video, because companion videos are actually really fun, I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, After that, I decoded the chip by myself because I'm a big boy. I don't need some dumb railroad to help me. Then I talked to Virgil, and he told me to find the serum to cure him. Spoiler alert, I never did. And then I went up and built the teleporter.
After the teleporter was built, I looked around as it was time for me to get teleported. I had no idea where I was going to be in or where the Institute would be. Maybe it's in the sky. Maybe it's underground. Maybe it's in our minds. Who really knows? After going to the teleporter, though, I saw nothing but white. As then, I saw it. The Institute. And it looked like a dump. Everything was rusty until I got to the center and realized it looked nice. Then I saw what looked like to be my son, as I told him to get out of here right now or he's grounded. Started yelling about how I don't know you, how about you're not my mom, get away from me. You know how kids are, they're difficult. Anyway, then my real son came out, and it turns out he's an old-ass man. He said, I built this robot boy for you, and I want you to join the Institute. And I was like, okay. As then it was time for me to retrieve a synth, and I met this guy called X838, which most people don't like, but he's actually one of my favorite companions. And if I ever do a companion list explaining who's my favorite and who's my least favorite, I will. Maybe I should do a companion tier list. I don't know. But anyway, it was time for me to slaughter some raiders who were led by a synth who was freed by the railroad. Luckily, the railroad's gone forever, so we don't have to worry about that. Well, they'll probably come back later, but for now, we're good. As it was time for me to slaughter these synths, and oh my god, look at this guy. Look how much he blocks. Like, the only problem with fight with melee combat is some people can just block. I mean, look at, he has like 1 health and he's blocking all my attacks. Just die already. There we go. Thank you. After that, we met up with Gabriel, and I didn't even waste time talking to him. I just immediately used the synth recall code because, well, I wanted to get this done fast because I was getting to the point where I could beat the game really soon. As in, the raiders who were next to him, I just easily slaughtered. And he was sent back, and we did it. For the Institute, baby! The Institute forever! Endure, long live the Institute, and long live these burning corpses. Anyway, after that, I talked to Father. He said he thought I did a pretty good bang-up job. You know, just father and mother talk. Anyway, after that, it was time for the Battle of Bunker Hill, where we're going to recapture all these synths. Now, I could destroy the synths or even free them, but why would I free them since I already got rid of the railroad? And yeah. Considering that I'm working with the Institute, it's either I'm going to side with the Brotherhood later, or I'm siding with the Institute. And I'll just tell you now, I decided to side with the Institute, because the Institute is actually my favorite ending. Fallout 4 has quite a good pieces of ending. No matter what says, I like the endings in Fallout 4. And the Institute ending is actually my favorite ending. I really do enjoy the Institute. They're one of my favorite factions. A lot of people think they're boring or just evil for the sake of being evil, but I disagree entirely. And I could make a video all about that, which I probably should later on. Anyway, enough about my nerdy talk. It was time for me to destroy the filthy and disgusting railroad people. Ew, you saved synths? Disgusting. Ew, ew, ew. Oh my god, just die. Just die. How are you blocking my flaming sword hits? Just die. Just die. Just die. What is this? I need to upgrade this weapon right now. That's what was, I really need to upgrade this weapon. Anyway, I had to take care of them. I then told all the synths the reset code, as they were forced to be turned back and reset. So then the Institute can use them again. Yeah, long live the Institute. The greatest faction to ever be made. Yeah, I love the Institute. The Institute's my man. Institute, 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 Institute. Yeah. And they're all like, please, please let me go. Please, I got free will. And I said, shut up, you dumb microwave. As then I recalled the recall code. Oh, hell yeah. After making them all reset, it was time for me to meet back with Father. As I met with Father, he told me how good of a job I did, and then he began to describe the wasteland around him. And there's people in the game saying, why you call him Father? His name is literally Father. Look, that's literally his thing. So yeah, that's why I call him Father. I guess I call him Son too. I can call him Father, I can call him Son, I call him old ass man. I call him whatever I want because it's my channel, and I do what I want. I do what I want. After talking with Father, he said he was proud, and I did a good job. Then I went to a board meeting, and Father dropped the 2 bombshells. The first one was that he was an old-ass man. He was going to die soon. People were shocked. He's like, why are you shocked? I'm an old-ass man. Anyway, the second bit of news is my mother's going to take over. This bit of news completely and entirely shocked everyone, as they're all like, oh my god, this can't be serious. So much so that it caused a little bit of a civil war, because two little turds thought that they could just shut off all supply and cut off all our food and have us starve to death because we now have a leader they don't like. Wow, that honestly sounds like politics nowadays, not even gonna lie. Anyway, after that, I ended up talking to him, and he was like, can you please talk some sense into these people? They're crazy. So I went in and talked to him, and I was able to talk sense into him, and they were like, okay, we won't try to starve to death the entire institute because of you. And I was like, okay, good. And after that, I managed to do something really good. I managed to upgrade my sword. Oh my god, look at this. Yes! I got the power! Staying alive! And then, it was time for me to put it into the Brotherhood. As I became official enemies with the Brotherhood, it was time for me to get the nuclear reactor, so the Institute can keep it going. I love how the Institute wants nuclear reactors so they can power their things and keep their scientific research going. And I love how the Brotherhood wants a nuclear reactor to build a giant robot of death and destroy things. So which side are you on? Do you want nuclear energy to, power your cities, to learn more about the world? Or do you want it to build a giant super weapon and destroy stuff? So yeah, those are the two different types of people in this world, apparently. Those who want super weapons and those who actually want to learn stuff. And I'm on the side that wants to learn because I am a learning nerd. Anyway, with my weapon upgraded and me wearing power armor, I was actually able to slice through these Brotherhood agents, which made me feel so good. Because you know what? How come the Brotherhood takes people's technology, That laser rifle would have went for a lot of caps, but then you guys stole it. Screw that. Technology for all. Technology for all. Technology for all. Institute forever. Institute forever. Kidnapping for all. Oh, wait, what was that last part? I didn't really hear that last part. Anyway, I then slaughtered what was left of the Brotherhood soldiers because, I'm a bad A. I'm a badass. You know how it is. Then, since I was wearing power armor, I was easily able to grab the nuclear fusion so we could use it. Hell yeah! Nuclear power for life! Gotta get that nuclear energy! Nuclear energy! Yeah! And I love how all the other endings just nuke the Institute. Because, yeah, that's what and everyone celebrates it. Everyone celebrates a nuke that probably killed tons and tons of people. Because, that's what the wasteland needs. And more places being nuked. Because we don't have enough radiation already. Anyway, it was time for me to fight some robots. Which I wasn't really too thrilled about. This is going to be a lot more difficult. But apparently, when you have an upgraded flaming sword, jet, and power armor on your side, that you can take down giant robots. So if you ever want to fight a giant robot, write that down. Because that will be something you can use in the future, if you know what I mean. Anyway, after a while, it was a bit difficult for me to fight at the beginning, but honestly, I forgot how good power armor was in this game. Yes, I know, power armor is pretty overpowered, but I'm used to fighting this thing with no power armor whatsoever, so I was used to just getting destroyed. That's what I thought was going to happen. It got to the point where I thought maybe I shouldn't have wore power armor at the very end. But then I said, no, why do I want to make my life harder? That's what those other challenge videos do. They make their lives hard as possible. I'm just a funny man trying to fight with a flaming sword. I don't want to hate my life. So after having that inner monologue, it was time for me to fight even more robots. But these ones were different. These ones had giant lasers on their head. Which is neat. Anyway, I think we should cut to the giant robots, shouldn't we? Yeah, let's do that. Let's fight some robots. And at this point, I was stuck and I had to cut to another part of the game where I actually was fighting things. And eventually, I was fighting things, so I took some jet so I can quickly destroy it before it can shoot me with that giant laser gun. I mean, I could survive in power armor, but it would break off one of my bits of armor, which I did not want that to happen, because I only have 3 bits of power armor, and yes, each power armor I stole from the Brotherhood, because I wanted to fight the Brotherhood with their own armor as some sort of sick, twisted joke. Don't judge me. Anyway, after getting rid of one robot, it was time for me to get rid of another robot, which is ironic, since I'm literally siding with the people who build robots, and I'm fighting her. Okay, and also, why did they just send me one scientist? They couldn't send me, like, sense and stuff to help. They do at the very end of the quest, but why not for the other parts of the quest? Just give a scientist a blaster, and then they just send me and say good luck. Anyway, after that, the Minutemen tried to stop the Institute from kidnapping. I mean, recruiting someone. Yeah, recruiting, that's the word. So, the Institute asked me to fix it since I technically helped the Minutemen in the beginning. And fun fact, if you don't interact with the Minutemen at all, they actually hire the gunners to help save them. And I've seen that a few times, because there's been times where I did not get involved with the Minutemen whatsoever. So, yeah. Fun fact, if you guys didn't know that, I'm just, yeah, letting you know. I play a lot of Fallout. I don't know if you knew, but I love me some Fallout 4. I love Fallout 4. Anyway, after talking him down,
I was able to go inside, and he said, "Go away, I don't want to be kidnapped." And I said, "It's not kidnapped, it's negotiated." He's like, "I'm pretty sure it's kidnapping." And I literally saved, and somehow I was able to talk down the Civil War, which is a much harder, request. But I wasn't able to talk him into joining. They needed to kidnap him with sense, but it didn't matter. After that, it was time for me to say my message to the Commonwealth. And I just tell them the good message, where we were here to help and stuff. Because I'm a pretty good character in this run, I think. I've done some good stuff. I help people, once or twice. So, yeah. After that, we fixed up the radio station so it gets full range. As then we put in the nuclear reactor. And look at that, baby. There we go. Yeah, and after that, I talked to the board meeting, and it was time for me to fight the Brotherhood of Steel once and for all. We are going to destroy the Penguin and show the world that the Institute is the greatest faction of all the Fallout. Oh my god, long live the Institute, oh my god. Which is, pretty difficult for the first 10 seconds because they're surrounded by people with laser machine guns that shoot at you. So to get past that, I use some Jet just to run past them all, because you know how it is with me and Jet. We go back. I'm not proud of all the stuff I've done with Jet. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, it's a problem, guys. I have a problem. You can't judge me. I have a problem. Anyway, for some reason on the way, I really wanted to just destroy that Brotherhood girl. I don't know why. It just came to me. After that, I was able to walk through a hole in the wall. And what you want to do is you want to get to one of the generators and destroy it as soon as possible. Because as soon as you do that, they start spawning in sense, and you actually have people to help you. And you're not just, surrounded by lasers where you slowly die. But yeah, on the way, though, I definitely did put a few of them down because, well, why not? I am the mother of the Institute. I am the new leader of the Institute. Anyway, after that, I destroyed a generator, and finally some synths were spawning in, and they're ready to help. Oh yeah, let's go Institute, bow, 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 bow. Let's go Institute, bow, 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 bow. Let's go Institute, yeah boy, Institute for life. And then after some slicing and dicing, I managed to destroy all the generators. And once all the generators were destroyed, it was finally time for us to hack into this giant robot. Now that since we're spawning in over and over and over again, the Brotherhood were going to get overwhelmed. But that wouldn't be enough. We needed to destroy them permanently. And as we were hacking into the robot, Proctor Ingram decided to say hi. Oh, I missed her. Sadly, though, I tripped and fell, and my sword fell into her. It was quite tragic and sad, but hey. R.I.P. for Proctor Ingram in the comments below. Please and thank you. But as I was hacking into the machine, something terrible would happen. You see, there's this thing where Elder Maxon flies behind you and shoots you with a laser machine gun. Which, I was looking back and forth to see if it would happen. But, the machine was almost completely hacked. So I thought, hey, maybe I'm good to go. Maybe it won't happen. And I couldn't really see any signs of it happening. I kept looking around. I kept looking behind me, in front of me. I kept making sure that all the perimeters were surrounded by synths. And yeah, I was pretty much all good to go, It was quite easy. The synths were actually, for once, doing a good job and making sure they don't march up here. But that wouldn't last forever, as Elder Maxon landed behind me. So then my plan was to use Jet and run past the lasers, because I am a badass. Look at this. I can't even see. All I see is lasers. Even with slowed vision, I cannot see. All I see is just a bunch of lasers in my face. As then I charged towards Elder Maxon, who was probably regretting letting me in. And instead of killing him, I knocked him off the edge, because I wanted him to see what was going to happen. I wanted him to see everything he loved be destroyed. that's not the reason. I tried to kill him, but he just fell off the edge, so then I guess kind of, roll with it. And since he's in power armor and quite far away, I wonder if he survives this. I mean, it should be possible. The airship doesn't really land on him, so he should survive this and escape with nothing left. That would be an interesting thing for a game. Anyway, then the Brotherhood was destroyed, and I proved once and for all that yes, you can beat Fallout 4 with a Shishkebab. I was so lucky that I randomly found it in Sanctuary, because I thought I wasn't going to be able to do the challenge without it, wink wink. Then I talked to my son, and he told me he's going to die, and he's an old-ass man, he's proud of me, and I said I love you, son, and that's where I'll leave off the video. Love you all.